We live in a world where making bad movies seems to be the norm now, except the one or two outliers every single year. But to make a good movie, I feel like we really need a strong plot. And for a strong plot, we need a protagonist. But what is a protagonist without the antagonist? And that's why I started wondering, what are the greatest antagonists of all time? And in this quest of searching for the best antagonist, the most influential antagonist that we've had, I started watching older movies, going back to my catalogs and things I've watched, and thinking about what affected me the most. And out of all of these, something clicked when I watched The Monster by Naoki Urasawa, because Johan Liebert is probably the only villain that does not really show up for most of the runtime of the anime, but still seems to be the most pivotal part of the story, and it really interested me. So I deep dove into his characteristics and what makes him so great. So let's start with the main question. Who is Johan Liebert? Johan Liebert is the namesake monster of the story Monster, and the mystery surrounding his past is the central focus of the plot. Saved from death as a child by Dr. Tenma, who is the protagonist of the story, Johan is grateful to him. He's intelligent and charismatic, using these gifts to manipulate and corrupt others to cause suffering and destruction. His original goal was to be the last one standing at the end of the world, but he later decided on a different fate. One of the themes of Monster is how individuals can transform into monsters, and Johan often acts as a direct or indirect catalyst for this transformation, even though, again, he doesn't really show himself for most of the series. He also shows a strong attachment to his twin sister Nina Fortner and refuses to leave her behind. Some viewers see Johan as a sympathetic monster, not purely evil due to his upbringing. Johan adopts identities that help him further his goals. He's not searching for or even trying to create his own identity. According to one interpretation, Johan was just a nihilist due to his childhood, thinking he was an extension of his sister Anna. He killed his previous foster parents because he feared that Bonaparte, the foster parent, could have hurt Anna. Something that Johan was built to be like, let's just say, the man with the funny mustache. However, the main difference is that Johan was more of a character in the shadows, whereas the other guy was a figurehead of his movement. Johan represents the darkness in society, the evil that lurks in the shadows. Presence of the monster. Johan's psychological complexity adds to his haunting presence. He embodies traits of a sociopath, displaying a lack of empathy and remorse while simultaneously understanding the emotions of others well enough to exploit them. This duality makes him unpredictable and dangerous. His chilling calmness in the face of violence further amplifies the fear he instills in others as they grapple with the realization of what they are dealing with. Johan also leaves behind clues and taunts for Dr. Tenma and others. He seems to treat Dr. Tenma as a play toy for him, further establishing his omnipresence. His cryptic messages serve as psychological warfare, challenging Tenma's morals and beliefs while forcing him to confront the consequences of saving Johan's life as a child. This dynamic creates an ongoing tension that drives the narrative forward, and the presence of Johan throughout the story, even without him showing up physically, is noticeable. Johan is a little bit of a sociopath. Sociopathy is often marked by an inability to form genuine emotional connections with others. Johan embodies this trait through his interactions with those around him. He's charming and polite, easily winning people over with his charisma. However, beneath this facade lies a calculating mind that views others as mere pawns in his grand schemes. This manipulation is evident in how he orchestrates events to achieve his goals, often leading to the destruction of those who trust him. For instance, he exploits the vulnerabilities of characters like Richard Braun and Nina Fortner, using their emotions against them to further his sinister objectives. So, what went wrong? Why does he act like a sociopath? His upbringing plays a big part in it. Raised in a traumatic environment marked by violence and neglect, he develops a distorted sense of identity. Like I said, he does not have his own identity and seems to keep changing it according to others. His childhood experiences at the Kinderheim 511, a facility designated to create perfect soldiers, further exasperates his detachment from humanity. Here, Johan learns to view relationships as transactions rather than emotions, reinforcing his belief that people are expendable. The psychological concept of cognitive dissonance also applies to Johan's character. He often creates situations that forces others to confront their beliefs and morals, leading them to act in a way that align with his manipulative agenda. This ability to instill doubt and fear in others enhances his control over them, making him a formidable antagonist. Moreover, Johann's philosophical musing reveal a nihilistic worldview that aligns with sociopathic behavior. He believes that life is inherently meaningless and that death is the ultimate equalizer. This perspective allows him to commit heinous acts without remorse or guilt, viewing them as mere steps in his pursuit of control and chaos. Since you can't see Johan throughout Monster, how exactly do you feel his presence? You feel his presence through the manipulation of other characters by him. Every time something goes wrong, you assume it's him behind it. Johan Liebert is a master of manipulative powers. And it's not just mere cunning, but a deep understanding of human psychology, enabling him to unravel individuals and orchestrate chaos. Johann's manipulation often begins with identifying and exploiting an individual's deepest insecurities and desires. He preys on their vulnerabilities, offering a twisted form of validation or a means to an end, ensnaring them in his schemes. This tactic aligns with the psychological principles of cognitive dissonance, where individuals are motivated to align their beliefs and actions, making them susceptible to manipulation if it resolves internal conflicts. One of Johann's most chilling techniques is his ability to instill fear and paranoia. He subtly creates an atmosphere of unease, making his targets question their sanity and trust in others. This plays on the psychological phenomena of the availability heuristic, where people overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled, often due to their emotional impact. Johann ensures his presence is felt, even when unseen, heightening anxiety and susceptibility to his influence. You could say Johann is a shadow enabler with an exceptional ability to unlock the monster in other people, exposing their darkness and fears. He isolates his targets, cutting them off from support systems and making them more dependent on him. This isolation tactic is a key element of coercive control, weakening resistance and fostering reliance on the manipulator. In the case of Richard Braun, a private investigation, Johann isolates him on a rooftop to psychologically corner him. Moreover, Johann understands the power of suggestion and uses it to subtly influence his targets' thoughts and behaviors. He plants seeds of doubt and manipulates their perceptions, leading them to make choices that align with his goal. This technique resonates with the priming effect, where exposure to one stimulus influences a response to a subsequent stimulus. His ability to inspire and motivate his followers with a message of self-improvement is an example of the halo effect. I have probably learned more about psychology researching about this video than I have ever learned in my whole life. Just goes to show how good Johann is at manipulating people that it actually relates to real life psychological words and phenomena. It's really exceptional. Naoki Urasawa is a master at writing characters, and it's clearly evident in Johann's character. Monster, which is written by him, is a complex exploration of morality, identity, and the nature of good and evil. Urasawa masterfully weaves together a psychological thriller that delves into psychological themes, challenging viewers to a question their understanding of humanity. One of the central themes is the exploration of what constitutes a monster. Is it inherently in nature or the product of nurture? The series posits that anyone can become a monster given the right circumstance, highlighting the duality present in all individuals. As Urasawa reminds us, coins are always two-sided. The story suggests that evil isn't always straightforward but can be mired in grey morality. Johan Liebert, with his nihilistic views and disregard for human life, forces the audience to confront the potential for darkness within humanity. The series contrasts Johan with Dr. Tenma, a brilliant neurosurgeon who embodies idealism and a belief in the intrinsic values of human beings and human life. Johan and Dr. Tenma, in a way, are polar opposites. Tenma's journey is marked by his struggle to reconcile his desire to stop Johan with his moral convictions. He trusts in humanity, even when confronted with villainous characters who are often portrayed in a humane light. Tenma grapples with the concept of nihilism, rejecting it because acknowledging a meaningless world would undermine his values. Monster examines moral codes and their fragility, prompting reflection on how far one will go before breaking. The trolley car problem is invoked early on, providing new iterations as the characters undergo change, continuously inquiring about the effectiveness of strict morality. Tenma's initial conflict involves defying orders to save a young boy rather than the city mayor, setting the stage for his later encounter with Johan. The series explores philosophical conundrums and allegories, with virtually every character having their philosophy put into the spotlight. Urasawa uses historical events and character struggles to play with perspectives and assumptions. The convergence of Johan and Nina's lives blurs the line between good and evil, challenging the notions of a monolithic understanding of morality. Ultimately, Monster suggests that human beings are fundamentally the same, with the capacity for both great good and unspeakable evil, and in the center of it all is the monster of the story, Johan. Who do you think is the greatest antagonist of film, TV, animation, or whatever the medium is? I would love to know it. So please comment down below about it. And if you like this video, a like and a subscribe to the channel would mean a lot. This is a new channel and I'm trying to grow. But I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.